Hi everyone, I'm Frank from the City of Games, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play the Art of Cat solo mode. But first, before you continue, make sure you're familiar with the basic game first. If you've not already seen the rules for how to play the Art of Cats, you're going to want to watch that video because the solo rules are an extension of the multiplayer rules. So, with that said, we are going to be on a rescue mission to rescue cats from the island, just like in the multiplayer game. However, our sister has snuck aboard our boat, and she is trying to claim credit for everything we do. So not only are we going to be trying to rescue cats and save them on our boat, but our sister is going to be claiming credit for everything we do. So now when we place things on our boat, not only are they going to score us points, but they're also going to score her points, and it is up to us to manage who's going to get the most points by the end of the game. The winner will be the player or the sister with the most points. To set up the solo mode, follow all the normal rules for setting up a two-player game. So you're going to want to have a cat meeple to represent you and one to represent your sister, and you're going to want to have 5 of each of the common treasures. It's really important in the solo mode that you keep the Oshag's tiles in a line because they're going to be numbered. This would be number 1, this would be number 6. You should place them randomly, there is no particular order, but you just need to be able to look at them and go, well, this one's the 3rd one, and this one's the 5th one, and so on. You're also going to want to take the solo colour cards and the solo basket cards, shuffle them, put one of the solo colour cards face up, put the other 4 face down, put all of the solo baskets face down, and then decide what difficulty you want to play. You're going to want to take the solo lesson cards, and you're going to want to place 3 of these face up somewhere on the table where you can see them. This is going to be how your sister is going to score points at the end of the game. However, if you want to play a harder game, you can take the advanced solo lessons and take some of these as well. 3 normal solo lessons is the easy mode. If you were to add 1 extra advanced, that would become medium, 2 would become hard, and 3 would become very hard. So you could put these down here, see them, and now we'll be playing the very hard variant. But for the sake of this, we're just going to keep with 3 of the normal lesson cards, and that would be the easy mode. This is obviously shown in the setup section of the solo section of the rules, so if you need to double check the difficulties, please refer to that. With these cards set up, your sister's play area is in place, our play area is set up, and now we can begin. So just like normal, we're going to add 2 cats per player to each of the fields, and our sister does count as a player, so we're going to place out 4 cats. However, normally, you would kind of shuffle the cats around the islands and just kind of space them out. In the solo mode, when you place them, you need to place them in a line, and you also want to make sure that you're doing that in a random order. So for example, let's say that we're going to place our first cat, it's going to go over here, our next cat is going to go here, our next cat is going to go here, and then our next one would be here. Likewise, on the right hand side of the island, you're going to want to continue placing them out in a line, and this is because, just like the Oshags, we want to be able to refer to them via a number. This would be cat number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we continue across to 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is how your sister is going to identify which cat tile is which. For us as the player, the numbers don't matter, it's just to help us manage things nice and quickly. If you were to get rare treasures, you would do the same with these, so you would place them in a nice straight line underneath the island. So this would be rare treasure 1, and this would be rare treasure 2. With the tiles out, we will get 20 fish, just like normal. Our sister will get none. We now move on to exploration, and we're going to do a solo card draft variant. So we're going to take 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to look at those 5 cards. We're going to get to choose 3 of these cards to keep. So let's say, for example, we were to take these 3 cards here. The other 2 cards would get moved to a discard pile. Once we've done that, we would take 5 more cards. Our sister does not get any cards. Everything she does is going to be related to these cards here and what we do on our boat. So again, we would look at these 5, we would say that maybe we want to take these 3 here, place them down, discarding the remaining 2, and then we simply draw 1 card off the top to represent the card that's being passed to us by someone else that we don't really want, and we've now got 7 cards. This completes the draft, and just like normal, you would now look at them, choose which cards you want to keep, discard the ones you don't want to keep, and pay your fish costs. Then, with that done, Let's say, for example, we keep them all just for the sake of this demo. We would move on to reading lessons. Reading lessons would work just like normal. Any of our lesson cards would be placed face up so we can read them. Of course, you could put them face down, but as your sister's not going to read the cards, you might as well put them face up so you can see them. Any public lesson cards are also just going to be played as per normal, and we get to pick a colour. In this instance, we're going to pick green, and we're going to put this onto here. Now, that's probably a terrible decision, and you'll see why soon, but we have decided to play that card. Once we've done read lessons, we move on to rescue cats, and this is where, just like in the normal game, we would look at our cards and choose which we want to play. We're going to decide this time around that we want to play just these two, so we're going to play them face up. Once we've made that decision, and only once we've made that decision, we're then going to get to flip over our sister's first card. We're going to look at that and see, oh look, she's got 4 baskets and she's got 4 boots. So we're going to determine turn order first. She's got 4 boots, we've got 4 boots, we are the purple player, that it's a tie, so therefore we stay on top. If she had more than us, she would of course move to the top. She's now got 4 baskets. This card classifies as her first basket, so we would take 3 more cards and put them face down next to this card. We don't know what they're going to do, but we do know that she's got 3 more cards to play, and we do know what this card is. This card says cat free, so on her turn, she is going to take the 3rd cat in the row. She is then going to take this common treasure. If a common treasure of the type shown isn't available, she doesn't take it. If the cat changes, she takes whichever one is number 3 at that time. So, for example, let's say it's our turn, and we decide, actually, yeah, we would quite like to rescue this cat. We're going to discard our basket, we're going to pay some fish for it, we're going to obviously get our change, we're going to place it onto our boat, we're going to get our common treasure just like normal, and then our sister's going to go, and we're going to see she takes cat free. So now the cat's numbers have been updated, so again 1, 2, and now this is number 3, so she's going to take this cat, and it simply gets discarded from the game. She's also now going to take this treasure, and this gets discarded from the game. So as she plays through, she's going to be limiting your options. Because we were first, we got the advantage this time of knowing what she's going to do, but now we don't know what's going to happen next. So we're going to play our next basket card, we're going to discard it, we're going to spend some more fish, we're going to take another cat and we're going to put it onto our boat, just like normal. Then our sister reveals her next card. You'll see this one says switch 2 and 5. So this means we look at number 2 and we look at number 5, and of course you can shuffle them along to keep it simpler, and they're going to switch places. So in this instance, number 2 would come over here, number 5 would come over here, and now of course this is number 2 and this is number 5. If for any reason that number does not exist, let's say for example we only had 4 cats, then you always just count the cat that is at the end as that highest number. So in this instance, this would now be 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, so we would swap number 2 with number 4. Let's just say now she's done her switch, she's now taking cat number 1, so this cat has now been taken, that's the end of her turn and it's back to us. We've still got our permanent basket and some fish, but we've decided to pass. Even though we've passed, she will continue resolving her cards. So she will turn over this card, she will now take cat number 1, and while the cats don't matter so much at this point because they would be discarded anyway, she still takes other tiles. In this instance, she's going to take Oshak's number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this Oshak's gets taken away, and this Oshak's now becomes Oshak's 5, and would also be Oshak's 6 if that was to come up. We've obviously passed, it's back to our sister, we would flip over this card, this one says cat number 6, so we take the cat from the end of the row because we don't have a 6. It also says rare free. This refers to rare treasures, we don't have 3 rare treasures, so we would take the second rare treasure and that would also be taken away. She's now finished resolving all of her cards, so that becomes the end of that phase. We move on to rare finds. Just like normal, we would play our Oshak's and treasure cards. She doesn't do anything at this point because she's already done her treasure and Oshak's cards, and then we're going to get to emptying the fields. We're then going to move on to the next round. At the start of each round, as well as Vesh's boat moving along and refilling the fields, we then turn over the next colour card and place it to the right of the last one, forming a track. And of course, we discard these cards and we'll get to play new ones. The solo lesson cards will not change throughout the game, they'll be permanent. We'll slowly get to revealing all 5 colours, and each round we'll see more solo basket cards. So let's say, for example, we've moved all the way through to the end. Each round we would have revealed one more of these cards, and at the end of the game, it's going to look something like this. We're going to see her 5 colours and the order they're in, and we're going to see her lessons, and we're going to move on to scoring. For us, scoring works just the same as normal. You would get your score sheet, you would score up your points, blue families, green families, and so on, rare treasures, lessons, public lessons, you will score 50% rounded up. So for example, this says 1 point per cat of the chosen colour on your boat. We've got 1 green cat. 50% of 1 would be half, round it back up, and it would give us 1 point. If we had 2 green cats on our boat, then this would be 2 points, halved would become 1 point, and so on. So public lessons can be scored by us and us alone, but we only get half the amount of points rounded up. Then we'd do our rats and our rooms, and we'd move on to scoring for our sister. Our sister scores for 2 different things, her colour cards and her lessons. The lessons are fairly straightforward. She will score her lesson cards based off our current state. So this says 4 points per unspent fish. Unfortunately, I've got 10 fish that I haven't spent, so she's going to gain 40 points. 5 points per visible rat on my boat. So she's going to score lots and lots of points, 5 for every single rat on the boat, as well as the fact that I've lost a point for each of those. She's going to score 2 points per cat in the largest family, so if we had any cat families, whichever one is the largest, she'll score 2 points for each of those cats. So with these 3 cards out, you're going to want to make sure that you've spent all of your fish by the end of the game, you're going to want to make sure that you've covered all of your rats, and you're probably not going to want one big family, because that's going to score your sister lots of points. Equally, she's then going to score for the cats on your boat, and you can use the score sheet to write your sister's name here, and then you can score her lessons and you can score her coloured cats into the sections just like normal. She does not get points for rare treasures, she won't get points for public lessons, and she won't lose points for rats or rooms. How she scores for families works differently than how it does for us. Whichever colour is the first one that came out, she will score 5 points for every cat of that colour on your boat. So in this example, we've got 2 green cats. That means she's going to score 10 points because she gets 5 for each. The next colour is orange, and she's going to score 4 points for orange, 3 for red, 2 for purple, and 1 for blue. On our boat, we've got a red cat, which means she would score 3 points. If we had, for example, 2 purple cats on our boat, this would be towards the end. This is 2 points per purple, so she would score 2 and 4. So in total here, she's scoring 4 points for these, 3 points for these, 10 points for those, giving her a score of 17, and then, of course, the lesson cards based on our stuff, meaning that she's destroyed us. However, of course, we didn't play a full game, so hopefully if we played, we may have had a better chance. If you've got any questions at all, please do feel free to ask below in the comments, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of how the additional rules for solo work to allow you to fight against your sister to see who is the best sibling of all.